would someone like to do the intro? Because I did it last time. Just to like share the load, because otherwise it's
share the load.
Oh, I love sharing loads.
Share the load.
Share the load with me, ladies. No.
Oh my. This is staying in.
Bow chicka wow wow.
So, welcome to episode 2 of the Shady Ladies podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your support and all the kind of positive reactions to the first podcast that we did. I am, of course, joined by Hannah.
Hello.
And Gista.
Hello.
Yes.
You.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How you doing?
Great.
Good.
Very, very infused answers. Thanks for that.
I'm fucking great. I finished Metro today.
Oh, how was it?
Well, so I am delighted to report this is going to date the podcast, but there's a few things we're going to talk about today which might date it. They did a big patch yesterday to fix a load of crashes, and it seemed to have fixed my blue screening issues because I was having loads of crashes and blue screens playing it, and we were just powering through because it was so much fun. It's not amazing. The script writing is appalling, but it looks amazing. It sounds amazing, and it's a lot of fun to like scavenge and stuff. It's a darker Fallout at the heart of it.
Yeah.
It's like Resident Evil and Fallout had a baby, and I'm quite happy with that, with a bit of Alien in there.
They're based off books, aren't they? By Dmitry Glukowski.
Yes, but yeah, a lot of fun, despite all the issues. But I would say if you want to go and pick it up, get it on console just in case. Because it seems to be, if you've got like an AMD chipset, you may have issues like multi-core stuff.
Yeah, and you don't honestly, like a standard crash is okay, but you really don't want to be dealing with repetitive blue screening. Like
I had 3 in one stream once, and it's just it's not worth it because you're damaging your computer when it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you, when you say blue screen, it like gives you a code and you type in the code in Google and it's
like full on blue screen of death. Like, but if you Google the code, it's usually like Windows had a problem. Like, no shit. No fucking shit.
Like, games look spectacular on PC and they will always just look amazing, but at the same time, like, every time I think of playing a game on PC, I have aneurysms because there's so many things that can go wrong. Like blue screen.
I am extremely concerned for your health.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I mean, you work in games. Are you okay?
No, I'm not. Well, I usually play a lot of games on console just to like put my mind at ease. Like,
yeah. But this is the thing, right? Back in ye olde days when I started doing ye olde days. It was just the concept of, because I wasn't really good with a controller, so I had to learn. So like people who've watched LA Noire know this. And The Last of Us was literally the game where I had to learn a controller or I was fucked.
Yeah.
Because the bow and arrow, you can't do that if you don't know what you're doing. It's just ridiculous. But so I started getting given games on console because you got it sooner.
Yeah.
So I basically was like, well, I've got to play them on console. That's fine. And then the shift to like, actually, these are more stable as well, especially when you're getting like people are fucking about with hairworks and shit. Arkham Knight, like Batman Arkham Knight, was unplayable and removed from Steam. And when that kind of stuff happens, it's a no-brainer to pick a console just because you're like, I want this game to run nicely and have a great experience.
Yeah.
And luckily, Metro was so good, and the patch at the end kind of was a nice little fix for everything, that I've come out of the experience enjoying it.
It was a bit turbulent.
Yeah, it would have been nice to not have occasional crashes, especially when you're quite into it.
Yeah, it really rips you out of the immersion as well. Like, you get really into the game and it's just like, psych.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm 2 hours in. Oh no, I touched a barrel.
By the way, your previous autosave didn't recognize either, so you're back 30 minutes. Woo!
Yeah, bitch. That is one good thing. Although I think we're going to find out later down the line that it's partially responsible for the performance issues. It's so anal about the saving. It's constant. So you crash and like you're 10 seconds behind where you were.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless you're in a major cutscene, in which case you're fucked. But so it's kind of and that actually really helped with the whole it's dying. But it did mean that it was constantly saving in the background, and that makes me wonder whether that possibly didn't help.
Would that mean
It
that
might have been a bit too much load for the AMD, because I think a lot of people with like Intel seem to have far fewer crashes. Like you were saying, Cliff had like the smoothest ride, right?
The issue is, right, because I've got a Ryzen, which is a multi-core like to the extreme. The Metro engine wasn't made for the multi-cores in that aspect, so it's always going to probably prefer an Intel chipset because it isn't doing it in the same way. A lot of the older game engines just don't know how to transfer, like put where they put the energy. They don't know how to distribute allowance for whatever it needs. So yeah, it just uses one core, then goes, oh shit, I've like used it all, oh fuck, and then dies. When it actually could have used 8 cores or whatever.
It's like someone goes to a buffet, their favorite dishes run out and they're starving to death, and they just ignore all the other dishes that they don't like.
Yes, exactly.
And they just collapse onto the floor and they're like, I'm so hungry.
I was gonna say,
and they're like, and someone's like, eat your fucking prawn toast then, and they're like, no, I don't like it.
I was gonna say someone who probably hadn't had like sex in like 10 years and they just exploded their load. Like instantly.
You know, it's the
my
same
balls
thing.
are so blue. Help.
Oh my god, yeah. So yeah, to go back to the original topic of discussion. I very much enjoyed Metro Exodus,
I'm so
and
glad.
I would be interested in knowing what you have been playing and enjoying.
Well, me and my blue balls have been enjoying Sekiro Shadow Die Twice, so it honestly is kind of blue ballsy in a way.
It's a ball buster. You mean?
It's the biggest ball buster I've ever played. It's so difficult. Like, it's because it's very much a Soulsborne game, but the mechanics, the fighting mechanics, are very different to previous Soulsborne games.
Are they closer to something else?
I'm not really 100% sure, but it's like a similar fighting mechanics, but you rely very heavily on parry.
Yep.
You rely very heavily on blocking and very, very heavily on timing.
There are some enemies
being able to.
There are some enemies that don't
things.
abide to the poise element or the poise mechanic of the
I
game.
I do have a complaint. So there is this thing called the Meharry Counter that you the first time that you fight this boss, I can't remember his name, but he has a big pike and he looks like one of the knights.
I have seen gifs of him.
He looks like one of the knights out of like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right?
Yes.
And the first time you hit him, it goes, oh, by the way, Meharry Counter, and you're like, oh, okay, right, yeah, I'm dead now. Cool, I'll just go and learn it. So you go and learn it, and there's this undead guy that you can practice all the counters and different moves
the guy
and stuff
that's
on.
in the main hub area.
The guy that's at the temple, yeah.
Yeah.
And he teaches you the Meharry Counter. He teaches you the timings, and I got the timings down, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna smash this guy now. I got this." And I get there, and I try to do the counter, and the timings are completely different with this guy than they are with the undead guy. So I'd learnt all these new timings. And then had to relearn the timings whilst fighting the guy and dying over and over, and making people in the game start dying because I kept dying because of the freaking dragon rot. So I was like, I'm a monster. I am an absolute monster because I'm just, and I got to the point where I was like, oh, someone else is dying. Well, fuck her. Let her die because this guy is pissing me off. Like,
you literally lose the will to live, honestly.
I spent 3 hours on this one guy and I was so angry. And then and then I just got him and I had the tiniest sliver of health left, and it was like the biggest like if I could have a non-orgasm orgasm, that's what it would feel like. Yeah. Like that kind of feeling, that just pure elation, and that's why the game, you keep going back to it, because no matter how much it busts your balls, no matter how much it whips you harder than you've ever been whipped in your life, and you just hate everything and everyone. As soon as you...
It's the feeling of actually succeeding and actually killing it, and you're just like,
it's
my
God. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But I've been really enjoying Sekiro. I haven't gotten very far in it yet, but I am looking forward to playing more and actually beating it, because I know people who've like, I've just finished my second playthrough of Sekiro. I'm like, well, stop fucking bragging, all right? Like some of us are really on the struggle bus right now. But yeah, I really do like it.
No, it's good.
despite my bitching and saltiness.
It's a standard Soulsborne, Dark Souls, Blood. Like you're gonna go through the same thing.
I mean, I love Soulsborne games. I bloody love them.
No, this is probably like. I wasn't surprised when the reviews were coming out and they were like giving it like 9s and like 10s and stuff, but like it's genuinely amazing. And considering it's like, I've just realized this and I don't know why it's taken me so long, but like From Software usually do games that are like very English, medieval kind of like setting and based, and this is the one
feudal.
Yeah, like feudal, and like this is the first one where it's like Japanese. This is literally their
but
thing.
it is feudal. It's worth pointing out.
It's like feudal Japan.
Yeah, they've gone same time zone, just different place.
Well, that works for me.
Yeah, and it's a really underrepresented area. We've only got this,
and like Ghost of Tsushima coming out soon.
And that's not coming. We don't even have a release date for that
and
yet.
we've had people begging
for
ages for like Assassin's Creed
Japan,
to go to Japan.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like, and it's like it's not gonna work for Assassin's Creed. Possibly. We've also had shit in China.
Sekiro has got a heavy stealth element. So potentially like stealth samurai type stuff for Assassin's Creed could work in the end.
I suppose you could, if you're shifting it to the new Assassin's Creed style, it could work because it is heavy weaponry.
Yeah, with
like,
the kind of like
RPG,
with the kind of learning heavy weapons, upgrading your skills,
Archer,
things like that.
Japanese archer is a thing.
Yeah.
Etc. No, I haven't yet played it. I think the plan is probably to play it tomorrow.
Ooh,
now we finish Metro.
Nice.
I would say perhaps don't drink stress drink wine until afterwards, because you will not get any better.
Yes, no, I learnt that with Darksiders 3. No, I tomorrow I've got the gym after the stream anyway, so that's probably a good thing because I could go and push the salt at like lifting.
Out your pores,
just be like, oh! And he's like, you're lifting really heavily today. Like, you seem to have lots of energy. How you doing? And I'm just like,
rage.
Fucking
primal rage.
Cold rage.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be terrible at it, but so basically this week is the week of hopefully finishing things. So we finished Walking Dead, finished Metro, and I'm hopefully gonna try and finish I'm close to finishing Red Dead, I want to say. I don't think I am, but we're gonna do a bit of Sekiro around that.
I can't believe you still.
Awesome.
I know there's been a lot going on, but like, god damn.
I know it's just such the longest fucking game, and it came out at such a bad time for me because of, I don't know, was it Spider-Man?
There so many games came
Red
out
Dead.
all at once at the beginning of this year.
I don't think I have
rough.
ever seen so many goddamn games come out at the beginning of the year in my life.
It is the busiest first quarter of gaming we've had for probably ever, I think people will say.
And I think the big kind of a thing that has made it so hard to like plow through content and actually get through games is that so many of them were like big AAA long ass games. It wasn't like one or two RPGs and maybe a shooter game and then a bunch of indies. It was like, oh, do you like AAA?
Do you like open world?
Some more AAA and some more.
Do you
and
like
some more?
spending 5 hours in Kingdom Hearts doing not a lot, finding ingredients? Then this is the game for you. I mean, that's possibly why I liked Metro, because actually it clocked in at under like 10 hours, possibly. I don't know.
It started linear, and then it opens up a bit, and then it like goes back to linear, which is.
But it's quite, it's very small open world. It's nice. It's quite confined. And it's like, I could do a bit. Fuck off.
Well, that's what
ridiculous.
what I really want. Like, don't get me wrong, I love open world games. I love, side quests, looting, blah blah blah. But like, I just want something linear. And Devil May Cry, speaking of, is a linear game, which was just such a nice, welcome thing.
I understand now where Bayonetta came from.
Oh yeah, it's insanity.
Because I played Bayonetta first, and everyone was like, oh, it's from DMC. Like, I fucking would understand. I was like, I don't know what that means. It's like, no, I get that now. In fact, if anything, Bayonetta's more ridiculous.
Oh, it's more over the top
now,
compared to DMC, I feel.
Which is silly. But I loved DMC.
It was good.
So
I finished it.
It was good.
I was absolute shit at it. But I loved it. I loved V's playstyle.
I really liked his playstyle
actually.
as well. I thought I would hate him, but like I as soon as I got a hold of him, I was like, damn son, you pretty OP. And then Dante's I think Dante's the best. V is the second, and then Nero,
Ugh.
I'm not too enthused.
I just struggled. I struggled with like depth perception a lot of the time.
Really?
For me, like, I don't know what it was, but it's like with V, I'm not having to do anything myself.
Yeah, it's
But with Nero, I kept struggling to go like, am I close enough to do an attack?
because he was the only one who
And
didn't
then-
have any supernatural, demonic
Yeah,
mumbo jumbo.
yeah. Like Dante, I got the nunchuck fucking things, the Cerberus things, and was like, these are the best things ever. I could just do whatever, button match 3 different
what
weapons.
about the
Brilliant.
motorbike that you can fucking dual
Oh
wield?
my god, the motorbike.
Radders, there is a dual wielding motorbike as a weapon.
That you can also ride.
That's
It's
insane.
absolute
Yeah.
fucking insanity. It's so beautiful.
I killed a boss with it. It's so fucking stupid.
It's so good. But yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. I didn't think I would enjoy it in the slightest, but I was like really happy with it. I would give that like an 8, to be
Nice.
honest.
But the other thing, the big thing, is the end of The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Mhm.
That would be my big thing. It's done. It's finished. We're not going to talk about spoilers. Don't panic, anybody.
I haven't done the final episode yet, so I need to get on that.
Yeah,
It came
you
out
do.
like what, yesterday or the day
Within the
before?
week, honestly.
It came out, 2 days ago. No, yesterday, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It came out yesterday. And so I played it, but actually Skybound put it out at 4 a.m. instead of normally we get it at 6 p.m. So you're like,
Yeah.
well, shit, I have to wait around all day. So it's
And you
perfect.
didn't have
'cause I
to.
could
That's
start the
great.
stream, get it done, and then go into Red Dead, which was great because it meant I got like fucking sadness and death and peril and all kinds of shit in The Walking Dead. And then went into Red Dead and just more of that.
Where were
It
you
was
up
a
to in
great-
Red Dead?
it was a
Without
great day.
like spoiling anything for, because I know Radders hasn't.
Epilogue 1.
Oh boy.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Oh
Oh
god.
boy.
So we ended, literally we ended the stream. So I played the end of The Walking Dead, and then we played the end of chapter 6 up to the epilogue, and I was like, right, that's the end of the stream. Bye everyone.
Oh my
It just sort of
God.
like
Went off and cried.
went.
That
the
is
fuck is going on?
traumatic. How are you not like?
It's so
Oh my
traumatic.
god, that's horrible. You poor thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. But Walking Dead, great. I think they did a really good job. Obviously, it's worth pointing out that Telltale storyboarded the fuck out of it all, and a lot of it was pre-done because people are doing a lot of praise just to Skybound still, and it's like, no, that team has done a lot of
Yeah,
work.
we can't forget the fact
But we
that
have to remember the
there
Telltale
is a
people.
Telltale
Yeah.
team who put so much work and so much love into this game series, and the actual like team themselves, it is not anything to do with the team as to why Telltale failed, and they deserve recognition and to be remembered for the work that they did. And bless Skybound, thank you so much for picking it up and finishing it for us,
Yeah.
because as us as fans who have been supporting the Walking Dead games for like 7 years now, 6 years,
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
love them.
yeah.
Love them. They are wonderful.
It's really nice.
I mean, I will
Yeah.
admit, I did have concerns when they initially were like, we're going to take this back. I was like, what's going to
Yeah.
happen? Is it just going to wildly swing off for 2 episodes into some like mad ass
Yeah.
ending that's clearly just been made up on the
Yeah.
spot? And no, they respected
It's really
the
nice
previous
to
work.
see that, because it's like 2 occasions that I can think of that happening. It's not just games, but like when Brooklyn Nine-Nine got discontinued or whatever, and like what was it, NBC that picked it up, I think. So it's nice to see that
Yeah, I
like
think so.
when something gets canned, or you know they want to stop doing any more work on it, that like there is an opportunity for another company to come in and be like, let's pick it up, let's do it justice. So
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so I could speak for all of us when we say that we really appreciate Skybound for getting it finished and
Yeah.
doing that for us, for the fans. And I personally cannot wait to play it and cry and wish I was dead.
It's an interesting conclusion, and I am pleased with how they handled it, and that's the most neutral
Okay.
reply I can give you that doesn't
Okay.
spoil anything. But yeah, come and find me afterwards and compare notes.
Just come to your house and cry.
I just open the door and there's you just going. "Ah!" I'm like, what happened? Who died?
get the tea ready.
Oh god.
Who died? My soul did.
It's mad that like games can do that. Like I know it's like I think it's I don't know if it's more intense in movies or TV shows, but like you are that character. You are playing that character.
Honestly, I have a much more visceral reaction to video games than I do when I watch movies or listen to music or TV shows. And, you know, especially with these, like, kind of games where there's, like, you make choices, you play a role, blah, blah, blah. You are putting a part of yourself into that character. And so it kind of feels like a little bit of an extension of you.
I wanted to ask both of you, like, from what game did you, without spoiling, because obviously, like, some people might not have played, but, like, what game made you cry the hardest?
Detroit Become Human. I mean, if we're counting just numbers of cries, I would say Walking Dead should be up there. Every fucking season, they'd pull at least one thing that would make me cry. But I wouldn't say, like, Detroit has gifs of me ugly crying from it. So, like, there's a proper one where I just lost
Gifts
it.
of me ugly crying.
Well,
I love that.
the thing is, your big ugly cry from Detroit, which I know why, that didn't happen for me because I made the choice that didn't result in that guy's death.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I didn't really have the same kind of ugly cry because it wasn't like I was watching somebody wonderful die in my arms. I was watching a guy be a dick.
I mean, I did a lot of it in one session. I think actually maybe we played almost the whole thing in one session.
What?
So I was like, it was a birthday stream.
Hannah does big ass streams.
It was it was a birthday stream. So it was like, this is the special stream. We're going to start Detroit. So I did it in possibly one, maybe two streams. So I was so invested in every single fucking story. So shit like the bit when they're marching down the street with the music, I was just like gone. Because I was so overwhelmed by the chanting and everything.
Yeah,
it was just like, this is so
the chanting
fucking powerful.
and and then the bit at the end, if you get the bit where they sing, it's a bit cheesy, but it kind of it got me. The actual like the words of the song got me, and I ended up crying, and I was like a little baby.
And it was that stuff. Whereas I feel like in other games, like Walking Dead, it's only if a fucking Lee Dream appears that I get caught out. Whereas Detroit, I kept going, oh shit, this is happening. I think that was part of it, is if I'm not prepared for it. But then also it was so real, and I was playing it for so long. And then also it's actors that I know and I kind of like from other shows. So I think maybe that helped me get into their performances.
So you would say,
but
Detroit Become Human, The Walking Dead has caught you. What would you say, Radis?
I would say for me, I have like two different scales of cry. I have, oh my god, my heart is breaking, I'm bawling, or I am so fucking happy that I can't help but cry.
Right.
And so for like the heartbroken, Walking Dead season 1.
Oh god, yeah.
Keep That Hair Short fucking wrecked me when I actually like selected it as an option.
Hi, sweet pea.
Oh fuck. Oh god. And then like anytime I hear the voice actor for Lee in another game, I'm just like, Lee! Oh my god, Lee's back! And then I remember what happens to Lee and I get sad again. And then of course like I chose to shoot him instead of leaving him because I was like, I could never let him turn. Like I was just like, you're my dad now. I can't let you turn. I was so sad. I was so sad playing The Walking Dead. And incredibly heart-wrenching. And the dialogue, especially in the first season, the connection between Lee and Clem was so wonderful, and it was so like heartfelt, and it was really, really well written that it got to me. And like weirdly enough, my most recent happy cry moment that really shocked me, I didn't actually realize I would get that into it, was when I finished Borderlands the pre-sequel. Because I had played Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2 a lot. I played Tales from the Borderlands, adored it. But when I tried to play pre-sequel, I tried to play it by myself, and I was struggling with the movement mechanics, because there's a lot of like moon space stuff. You got the leaping and the floating in the air and stuff, and I couldn't really get into it as much. But I played it recently with another person, just off stream, didn't stream it, just played it for myself because I just wanted to get it finished so I could really understand this pre-sequel story, which is in between Borderlands 1 and 2. So there's a lot of like Handsome Jack involved. It's kind of fun. I love a bit of Handsome Jack. He's like the best villain that you love to love and hate. You know, he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
But But at the end, what shocked me was a I can't remember what they're called. The people that the Vault Guardians, right? Just a Vault Guardian appears out of nowhere, and I just kind of went, oh, holy shit! And it just like all connected to me, and I was like, fuck. There are more Vault Guardians. There are things that have to be done. The universe has to be saved. And I just, I was so happy that it all like came together, and it suddenly like clicked all the games in the whole universe together. That I was so happy I cried.
You had like a Bioshock Infinite moment, didn't you?
Yeah.
Basically.
And I adore Borderlands so much. Like it's other than like the Mass Effect trilogy, it's like my top game series ever.
Well, in that case, I'm sure you're very excited about the shit that Gearbox is teasing, which is definitely not Borderlands 3. Definitely not.
Yeah. So it's
Mask of Mayhem, it's called, isn't it? Or...
As of when we're filming today, Gearbox and Borderlands and 2K announced the teaser trailer for Mask of Mayhem, which is being suspected to be Borderlands 3.
They posted pictures of Claptrap on their Twitter saying, ooh, game spoilers. It's gotta be a Borderlands game. Like, it doesn't exist in another world.
They're like, oh, like from the teaser, it looks like it's gonna be a battle royale, or it looks like it's gonna be a mobile game. I'm like, bitch, no. There is no way. There is no way.
The fucking mask.
What I got,
the artwork.
My view of the teaser trailer was it was kind of like going through new characters plus old important characters from previous games. And so I don't see that as, oh wow, look at all these characters that you can play in a battle royale. It feels like it's going to tie in all the stories, all the different vault hunters, the different vaults. Obviously at the end of the Tales from the Borderlands, we got the big old map of all the different vaults all over the universe. There is so much that has happened in the last 7 years that people are going to be replaying Borderlands 2 and trying to catch up, but there is like I highly doubt that it's going to be, oh, this is directly a year after Borderlands 2. Like, this is directly after. There's going to be a time gap.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
maybe there might even be different timelines across a few, you know?
I mean, maybe, you don't know.
Because you've got a couple of characters from, not necessarily different timelines, but, you know, like, maybe. I don't fucking know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll have people that have aged, like, more, because obviously they're from further back in time.
Yeah, and then, of course, you can only have 6 sirens in the universe at any one time. And at the end of Borderlands 2, a siren died.
Yes.
So there is going to be, probably by the game, a new siren that has been born. So how old is this new siren going to be? Because that would essentially determine the time frame between Borderlands 2 and this game.
Because I assume they just age like normal people.
I hope so. Because I know that Angel was born to Jack. Angel is actually Jack's daughter, and she died. And so I would assume that she actually was like, she was born a siren as a baby, and it wasn't just like one day a siren died and suddenly she woke up and she was like, ooh, powers!
Or you have the baby and then it grows up really quickly. That's what I mean as well.
Oh, well, like that like weird vampire thing from Twilight.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that monstrosity of a
Twilight?
thing.
I was fully grown 7 years after my birth.
Your best friend at school imprinted on me, so he stopped aging so that I can bang him when I'm the right age.
I literally tried to watch Twilight the other day. It was so bad. It was so bad. I was creasing. I creased so much, I think I turned into an origami plane. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, so Borderlands 3, it's possibly, what do you reckon? Do you reckon, so they're clearly going to give us more information at PAX because they're teasing about it, but I would assume we'll get even more possibly at E3. I don't know how E3 is going to be this year because Sony isn't going and I think EA isn't going.
have their own thing.
Oh, well, there we go. That'll be exciting.
Which is great news.
Come on through, Capcom.
Yeah.
You've done, like, your shit has been so good.
Solid
recently.
shit. Yeah, it's great.
They also have been doing a lot of, like, social media stuff where they're like, hey, do you remember all these Capcom games? Here's some emojis. Guess the titles. These games are great, by the way. Look at all, like, really great games. I think they're trying to hype themselves up because they got shit to sell us.
I hope so. Well, why would you you wouldn't rent, literally, you're buying the space. You wouldn't pay for the space. It's also worth pointing out, briefly, that's reminded me, when we were playing DMC5, we could not believe it was the same engine, the Resi engine, the Re engine.
Why? Because it looks better, or
it is so whatever they're doing to it, because it's also what Resi 2 runs on, but it's also what obviously Resi 7 ran on. And it's like, whatever the fuck you guys are doing, the teeth in Devil May Cry,
it's incredible,
are possibly some of the most natural teeth I've seen,
and the way they speak as well,
and Resi's as well. Yes. I mean, it's not necessarily all in sync. It kind of goes out a bit, but when it's very, very natural. It's very nice.
No, it looks incredible.
And, like,
really,
that engine, whatever the fuck they're doing with it, keep it up.
There's
lads.
something about like Japanese engines. Like, there's something I don't understand what they do. They have like some next level
testing. I assume it's rigorous fucking testing, but who knows? Maybe it's because they've always had in-house engines and they're not like making shit up as they go. Fuck knows what they do, but it's amazing, and I really hope we see more stuff on that engine because it's so good.
Yeah.
Have either of you seen Psycho?
Psycho, like knife in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I literally have
Psycho. It's a
never seen
classic.
it before, and I just like put it on really late. I think it was after the stream on Saturday, and I was like, oh fuck it, I've never seen it before. I mean, the fidelity of the actual film is like incredible because they revamp it and put it to 1080p and whatever.
Well, also when they film stuff, it's all actually filmed fucking huge anyway.
Yeah.
So it's actually not that hard often, depending on what the film is filmed on, to produce amazing. So like half of Star Trek's original series, it looks amazing. Because they filmed it on stupidly high level quality stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'd never seen it before, and I was like, oh shit, this is like really, really, really good. And I won't say the plot twist or anything, like, just in case anyone hasn't seen it. But the scene with the shower, like, I have a friend who like is really into like the filming stuff, and like that's his like main job. And he says that I don't remember how many camera angles or how many cameras that they had set up, but it was like a ridiculous amount because of how many different times she gets like sort of stabbed at in the shower. And I was like, okay, really? That's that's interesting.
Let me see if I can find out.
Well, how many cameras were set up in the shower?
Yeah.
I did not see the twist coming at all. Not at all. That was a big surprise.
Oh, hello. They did 26 takes of the spinning shot emerging from Janet Leigh's eye, apparently.
Holy shit.
Just due to the sheer amount of they wanted like an optical flicker thing and the technology wasn't available. So that's how they did it. They also like removed some frames potentially on to make some like more jarring jump cuts, and when she's like slammed against the wall, they actually remove a few frames to make it more jarring.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting
because you couldn't do, that's all you could do is you could only edit the film its physical self back then. So
it's really interesting to see that back in those days, because they didn't have the technology and they didn't have the right kinds of cameras for the sorts of things that they wanted to do, just how much more creative they had to be, and how much more they had to do and fiddle about with to get their shots right.
I have the stat for you as a perfect example of this.
What's the stat?
So, there were 52 cuts, but there were 78 setups.
See? Yeah, I knew it was something ridiculous like that.
Holy shit.
Yep.
That's insane for one
for
scene.
45 seconds, basically, that scene.
It's insanity.
Yeah. See, the amount of work they had to put in to get that right. But then, this is why Psycho is such a well-loved horror classic.
Apparently it was so, like, I never knew this, because, like, I knew, like, a little bit about it, but not a lot, because I'd obviously hadn't seen it, but apparently it was so outrageous that the main character was obviously only there until, what was it, halfway through the film? Because of a third of the film, and
apparently.
It was so, like...
This article
yeah,
said,
like,
anyway.
it was so, like... unlike the time, because like films those days, you put like a major starlet in it, you expect to see her throughout the film.
To be fair, it still happens. Remember Game of Thrones? The fucking outcry of like, what?
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
yeah,
but like back
bitches,
then, you
that's
put a
the thing.
starlet in a film, you expect her to be in that film from beginning to end, essentially.
Yeah,
But,
that's true. That is true.
But yeah, that's why it was so shocking back then. But yeah, little tidbits of movie trivia. Have either of you seen Captain Marvel?
No.
I haven't had time to go.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not super fussed.
Yeah, but I'm a
because
Marvel whore, Hannah.
I don't mind them, but I'll quite happily watch them at home. I don't mind going, like, Cliff and I will go see Spider-Man. That's the one we'll go and see, because that's his thing.
Oh, because Spider-Man films are good.
He's also a Spider-Man comic collector, so he's like a true fan.
Oh, Hannah's gatekeeping
diehard
now.
fan. Excuse me. Yeah, so he likes to go and see them. So that's the stuff we do see. Occasionally we might go and see the others if we've got a few other people and we fancy it. But we tend to go and see stuff like, so we went and saw A Quiet Place with Jane and Jarkor.
So good. So good.
And that was great. Well, the thing is with A Quiet Place, to briefly explain it to people, it's like Bird Box,
Wow.
except not
Wow.
shit. And basically, things can hear you if you make sound. If you have a really good cinema and everyone's in on it, and it's like, we've got to be quiet, like you get immersed into it. Whenever there is sound, it's really precious, and you're like, the fuck, there's sound. But I have heard people who've gone to see it, and there's been someone there eating popcorn really loudly, and that just fucks it for everyone.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, we go and see stuff that's specifically like you kind of want to go and see it with friends as an experience. So we tend to not do Marvel, but I get that for some people that's their quiet place.
I think one of my favorite things about going to like see a Marvel film is because I've gone to see Marvel films so many times in the cinema. When Infinity War came out, I saw it the first night when I was with a huge group of people in Memphis for St. Jude, for the St. Jude Summit. And our reward for going to the summit and go to the hospital and learning about all the work that they do over there and spending time with the kids was a night at cinema to watch Infinity War the day it released. And it was amazing. It was because I've never been in such a big IMAX cinema. Like, in my town, all the cinemas are kind of small and shitty, right? And we're in this huge like screen in Memphis, and it's insane.
Yeah. They go big as well in America. I went to see one of the Superman films. I went to see Man of Steel in LA, and it was,
I think, the biggest
huge.
cinema in the UK, which I literally never knew about or never even like thought about it, but it's the one in Waterloo. I think it's the one that's like a circular building, and there was this huge,
The giant
yeah,
IMAX
it's
place at
huge,
Waterloo,
and
yeah?
I went there to
Yeah.
watch because it's when Spider-verse won the Oscar, and they brought it back for a week, and I went there to watch it, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was insanity. It was so good. Even the 3D, which I don't like 3D, it was amazing. It was so good. So I know exactly what you mean. What I was going to ask on the topic of like Marvel and Spider-Man, because I know you mentioned that Cliff and he's really into it, all that kind of stuff. But who would you say in
Gosh.
I want, like, even if it's like cartoon shows or whatever across video games, movies, who would you say is the best representation of Peter Parker you have ever seen? Actor, I mean, even in like Spider-Verse or any Spider-Man cartoon you've ever seen, or even the game, it is a difficult one.
Oh god, it's hard. That's quite. If you'll take like,
It is very difficult.
the thing is, I don't know. The only Peter Parkers I know are the film ones and the animated cartoon.
We'll go off what you know, because you can't fault you. I can't fault you for anything that you don't
It's
know.
yeah,
You
it's
know what I
like
mean?
if you haven't watched the cartoon and it's like got simply the best version of Peter Parker, you cannot know that.
Well, this is to your own
So-
opinion.
What I mean is there's so many versions of him in the comics as well that I don't know about. There's some fucking amazing ones. Literally, I think it's called Ultimate Spider-Man, the current run, where it literally turned up today and he waved at me, which is why I'm aware, is one where Doc Ock possesses Peter's body and becomes Spider-Man and does a better fucking job.
That's hilarious.
sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. So I love the concept, but arguably that's not Peter Parker.
No.
I would probably say that the current one is the closest.
What, Tom
But
Holland?
I have a soft spot for Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 because Alfred Molina is fucking amazing. And I feel that film in itself, like, I have to count it. Just even if it's just because of their
it's kind
interactions
of difficult
and all
to
the shit that
say.
goes on there.
It is difficult to say because there's so many renditions.
I would
yeah.
agree with you.
Because 2, people hold that 2 up there highly. That was like when the Spider-Man game came out, people were like, where is my suit?
My suit.
Because I want to remember Spider-Man 2. And it's like, calm the fuck down. Like, they're working on it, and people get very
Let
cross.
them add it. Let them
let them
create
buy
it.
the
Just
permissions first, you know? Like, they can't just
yeah,
make
I
shit.
would personally say that Tom Holland is the best representation of young Spider-Man. Like, Peter Parker is a kid. Peter Parker is actually a teenager. He is supposed to be a bit dumb, a bit silly, a bit witty.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit naive in some aspects.
It's worth pointing out that his Spider-Man, alongside the Tobey Maguire really early on when he has the, like, I can't do any more scene, they represent potentially some of the best, like, I can't juggle all the shit at once, but that's part of Peter.
The fact that he is overwhelmed.
It's the most realistic representation of what a superhero's life would be like.
Yeah.
I just feel like in 2, it was so tragic though. Like, he literally got fucked by every single thing that could have possibly happened ever. Like, the shit with MJ, the shit with his job, the shit with university, the shit with his arm. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what are you trying to do to the poor boy?
Like, give Peter a break.
Yeah.
But
in a way, I kind of like it as well, because Marvel is DC is often too dark and Marvel is often too light. And I felt that 2 kind of dabbled nicely into dark. But the only downside to the modern one, at least for Cliff, and I know mods like Jarkor who came to see... no, he didn't come to see... He came to see Into the Spyder-Verse with us, actually, I think it was. They both feel, and I kind of agree, that Tom Holland is great, but it's more like Ferris Bueller's Day Out than a Spider-Man film. It's a lot of like, hey gang, let's go to the place. Oh no, the thing has happened, which is not quite as, and I get why they're doing it, because it makes much more sense to have like the
I
Scooby
feel like
gang.
Tom Holland kind of nails the intended personality. Yes. But maybe the films aren't quite right in the setup of everything. We had Tobey Maguire,
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
Tom
Garfield.
Holland.
Sorry, I forgot about him.
Into the Spider-Verse. Then we had the Amazing Spider-Man game with that version, and then we have the million Peter Parkers in the comics.
I think the best one is the one in the PS4 version. I'm sorry, but I think
I was actually like, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, like, I have a soft spot for Tobey Maguire. I know people are gonna hate me for this. Spider-Man 3. I can't get over just how fucking well Tobey Maguire nailed the kind of insane, egotistical, like, infected Venom type thing. Like, it was so funny. Yeah. It's like the most brilliant comedic relief. It's so bad it's good. I love it. But I really, really enjoyed the version of Peter Parker in the PS4.
Is it Yuri Lowenthal, as in Spyro?
He's older, he's more experienced, he's already beaten the baddies, and he's got like a rapport with them. And
also, he did all his lines.
Yeah, exasperated.
Twice.
And he did them breathless.
So good.
These tiny little bits, and just like the personality of like this slightly older Spidey who's still a bit of a joker. It seems that he can cope a little bit better with the responsibility, and then you don't have to deal with that like annoying, I'm gonna lose my shit because I can't handle the world.
Fucking MJ and fucking Ant-Man.
Like we've seen this in every Spider-Man iteration.
He is also, because he is in that slightly older time, you've got a lot of the older villains are dealt with, so it's nice because we're past the origin shit. We're into that. We have Miles as well.
Yep.
We have a potential trilogy with a story arc where Miles becomes Spider-Man. And I am fucking living for that because it means more Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we want to go into questions really quickly?
Yes.
Let's look at the hashtag Ask Shady questions asked on Instagram and Twitter.
So we're going to open with a fairly shady question, actually. But sure.
Wait.
What is your opinion on what J.K. Rowling is doing at the moment? I love Harry Potter, but I kind of feel she just needs to let it go.
I don't know if I'd like mention it to you guys. I know I'd mentioned it to a couple of other my friends, but I just feel like it's like, you know that meme where it says nobody and it's just like, it's like blank and then you've got the person underneath. So it's like,
J.K. Rowling, by the way, Dumbledore fucks men.
Yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up. Stop it.
For J.K. Rowling to be like, yeah, that's fine, cast a white girl for this. Oh, yeah, that's fine, put white girl on the cover. And then for her to go, actually, Hermione's black. So it's just a little bit like, okay, listen, J.K.
JK.
You've done some good things, all right? you've written some good books. You've made many a child's life very, very enriched and happy, and given great swathes of imagination.
Just
However,
cease.
you cannot
stop.
retroactively pretend to give a shit about representation.
After the fact of the matter.
You cannot retroactively go, right, okay, I've made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
My franchise is now safe. By the way, loads of gay characters, people of colour. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
No, either stand for it at the time or don't stand for it
Yeah.
later.
represent.
Yeah.
When you are doing your thing, take the brave leap. Because unfortunately, in this world, it is a brave thing to represent other people, which is sad.
Also, a small tip as well, if you want to represent minorities, aka the Native Americans that you randomly gave houses to in America, maybe ask them first, because they weren't happy that you randomly made up 4 houses for the fucking American school using Native American stuff and like
Ooh,
manhandling the shit out of it.
Maybe confer with people.
Just a general cultural rule is you go and have a fucking chat first at least. You know? Like, sorry, everyone's shat on you for centuries. Is it alright if I appropriate your like various words for random crap?
I mean, to be fair, that's not a J.K. Rowling issue. It's a
wide issue.
It is, indeed.
She needs to cease and desist. On the topic of that, actually, I think she's tried to do other stuff though, and it's just
She's
kind
written
of,
crime as Robert Galbraith or whatever he's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Just do that. Or, I don't know, write
It's
another
not
play.
done particularly well. But I mean, the curse that play that she did, I think, did well. But I think I was watching the news when I was in the gym, and there was a girl who won the Guinness Book of World Records for the most accumulated items of like Harry Potter collectibles.
Oh no.
And I think the number was something ridiculous, like I might be exaggerating because I don't remember specifically, but like 9,000 items.
That sounds probably about right.
Yeah, like it's like I think 2 decades worth of like her collecting Harry Potter. Yeah, like statues and like she got a Guinness World Record.
A small
thing
part
for
of
it.
me is just like amazing.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I'm thinking, where the fuck would I put it? Like
her whole house is filled with
oh
it.
my yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like that kind of stuff you need a house for. It's like no, it's you and all of your other stuff or this specific thing.
Yeah.
I remember Tom Felton did a BBC documentary thing where he met superfans and he went to a Harry Potter house.
Oh boy.
And it was he was a little bit, he was very good about it, bless him, but you could tell it was a little bit disconcerting because he just went in, it was just Harry Potter shit everywhere, and the dude met him in a Gryffindor robe.
Oh.
It's like,
Oh no. Oh.
but they had a nice time.
Oh, did they?
bless
I
them.
bet.
It's interesting.
At least he's found something that he
Indeed.
loves.
I mean, I get loving something, but fuck me, lads. Like, chill out. You know?
I haven't got the energy to collect shit. Like, I collected fridge magnets as a kid, and that was enough.
I like collecting things, and like to a certain degree, like it's nice, and you know, you fill your house with things that you're very proud of and you're passionate about. But that 9,000 times items of Harry Potter, I think not. Like that, you need to
Yeah.
relax. Like,
No thanks.
I mean, shit, how much money did you spend? Like, when we went to the Harry Potter shop, we ordered, like, we bought, like, a handful of things and spent fuckloads
Yeah.
of money.
I bought 2 fucking hoodies.
Yeah, and spent loads of money. And it's just like, oh my god, this shit's really expensive. We've got a question here that says, do you think we'll ever get to see you guys do a playthrough of any Dark Souls game where you keep summoning each other for all the areas and stuff? Personally think it'd be great.
I can't though. I'm like, it's like I've got 2 left arms. And I button mash.
Maybe we can do a series on the Twitch and and putting it up onto the YouTube where we help you get through every game even though you fucking suck.
yeah.
Like we can help you push past that wall of shit and actually break through into
Rad is such an encouraging friend. It's like, you're so fucking shit, Hannah.
I know, right?
Oh no, because Hannah's like brilliant at loads of games, but Hannah doesn't get Dark Souls. You
Yeah.
haven't played it enough, and unfortunately with pretty much everybody who plays Dark Souls games for the first time, takes bloody ages to get it.
It's different, yeah.
I did For Honor. I did the main thing for Honor. I've done Darksiders 3 recently. I've done Devil May Cry, although I was terrible at that. So
boy.
I'm sure I can have a go. I've done Odyssey. So, you know, I've done a lot
do
more
it.
fighting games than I did back then. So we shall see. it would be good to do at some point. I think we need a quieter time because we've got Gen 0 coming.
There's a lot of
We
games.
haven't tried. I want to try out Red Dead Online.
Oh yeah, we've not done
if
that.
we can, because that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Elder Scrolls obviously later in the year. Also, by the way, if you're listening to this, there's an Elder Scrolls Online preview thing on the channel, on the YouTube channel. Go and check it out. Thank you. And Fallout, obviously, as well. And the Prey Typhon Hunter thing as well.
Yeah.
So there's loads of stuff to do. We need to put, I guess, Dark Souls on the list.
I'm keen to do that. So even if that's like a live stream thing or oh my god, there's we could do it on the Shady Ladies channel. We could even do like upload it as a video, as it were. But if you guys have any suggestions on what you actually want to see us play, I think we've seen a couple here and there saying, we want to see you do this and that, etc. But if you guys have any like genuine interest in us like doing a playthrough of something, just let us know. Let us know.
Thanks. You can tweet us. You can let us know in the comments section if you're watching this on YouTube. You can also put it in the hashtag AskShady. Just let us know. Like it's very likely we already will know about the game, but you never know. Sometimes stuff catches us out. So yeah, please do. Please do ask.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear what people want to see as well.
Yeah, exactly. And live streams should start by...
They should have started by the time this goes out.
Yeah.
In theory.
I
don't know when this is going out, but it's certainly not going out before next week.
Not
so
before
we
next
should
week,
be alright.
No, yeah.
No, because I've got to edit a video about sausages.
Lovely. Can't wait.
You've seen it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I've got a better question. Do penguins have knees? And the answer is fucking yes, they do.
Fucking joints on your legs and knees.
Snakes don't have knees.
Not everything. Not everything has knees. But because penguins have such short legs that are quite concealed by layers of fat, a lot of people see like little stubby penguins walking around. They're like, oh, they can't have knees because their joints are. They clearly don't have any joints that move. But
they
it's
hold the
concealed.
egg.
They
don't
do have knees. I took zoology. All right. If anyone comes at me and says penguins don't have knees, I will fucking murder you. I won't.
At YogCon, when you see radders,
Don't ask about penguins.
don't ask about penguins or knees.
No. Okay. When you come to YogCon and you decide that you get a space for one meet and greet and you choose it on us, please. Thank you. If you come up to me with a detailed diagram of how penguins don't have knees,
she will punch you. And that's hard work for her.
I will be very upset, but I will sign it with a small note about my displeasure. So
if you ask her nicely, she'll draw some knees on it as well.
Somebody asked me to draw a dinosaur, and I was like, okay. And so I just drew a random dinosaur, and I just called it the Regretosaur because it looked so bad.
It was great. I saw that. It was so good. And then I just did like a Diplodocus, and then went, these don't exist. What have I done? Next question. What's your least favourite thing / biggest nitpick about one of your all-time favourite games? And, because it can be a two-parter or you can answer it separately, what was your most favourite thing about one of your most disappointing game experiences, e.g. best thing about Mass Effect Andromeda? Shots fired.
Oh my god, there's so much going on in these questions. I have no idea.
All right, okay, let's start with let's break it down. What's the biggest nitpick you've got, G, about your most favourite game franchises? Or a franchise?
I'll just say Halo. Should have ended at 3, I would probably say.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think when they're meant to be like I bless Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed, and they've made like some amazing titles over the years, but it was literally meant to be a trilogy. Like, it was only meant to be.
How fucking dare you?
I love them, and I'm not saying that they
the
shouldn't
better shit is later.
I know, but
Black Flag.
It literally should have.
Odyssey.
It literally should have been 3 though. It should have been Ezio, but then they just decided to keep. But
you do realize that Ezio is a trilogy, but Altair existed, which makes it 4. G 4.
That's true.
4.
But it was meant to be 3. But like, I think sometimes when there's an oversaturation of things, but like I said, not saying that they're all bad, because there are some absolute gems in the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah, but they have shut them out.
Yeah, like when there's an oversaturation of things, like I can compare it, like the quickest way to compare it is when you've got like a show like the CW that churns out fucking episodes like it's going out of fashion, or when you've got a TV show that churns out 10 very solid, good quality episodes, and they only come out every 2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think they've realised that now. It's taken them literally, because we had, well, I say it's taken them this long. As soon as they finished Black Flag, they started on Origins, which meant that they stalled for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But in stalling in the 3 years, they gave us other games in the meantime from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Which, on the one hand, I liked, but on the other hand, maybe they should have had a break. I don't know.
I think it's good to have a break, take a step back, understand what went wrong, what went right, redo, you know, take a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, there's different studios, but like too much of a good thing, yeah, it's oversaturation.
It's literally, you're seeing in Assassin's Creed, you see different studios making different games, and that's how they've done it. It's the same with, I think it's COD.
Oh, I can't stand it. I can't.
Well,
stand
it's same with like Borderlands. Borderlands pre-sequel was made by 2K Australia.
Ah, yes.
And it's an entirely different team that was working on the other two Borderlands games. And you can see there's quite clear differences in like play style and things like that, mechanics, story writing. Like there's a lot of differences.
There's a balance though, I think, because you can't do what arguably Gearbox and Square have done with Borderlands and Kingdom Hearts and wait like 7 fucking years. That's almost too long, and I get why they've had to.
Yeah.
But
Well, they had like Final Fantasy 15, which like got in the way, so to speak, or they were like working on that, and because like even that was like I think I coin it as like an unfinished masterpiece because it's a fucking brilliant game.
it is, but I haven't finished it. I gave
Oh,
up. I
bitch.
just went, it's too big for me. It's too fucking big.
Bitch, that's
Can we isolate that audio?
oh bitch.
Look, I'm sure someone would have done it. If it makes it through to the edit, someone will do it.
That is
Look, it'd be fine.
That is the one game where I cried like a fucking bitch at the end. Okay, I sobbed. I ugly cried at the end of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like one of the only games that's made me do that.
But I feel like I need to have investment in Final Fantasy to do that, you know?
No, that's
Whereas,
the thing. I
mean, I loved the boys in it. Don't get me wrong. They loved them all and all of that shit. And I think I still have the game installed on the PlayStation with the save.
Yeah.
But it was too much, especially at that time. It's effectively an MMO in terms of the time you have to put in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it.
It was hefty. It was, yeah.
But I would love to at some point go back to it. I don't know when. But yeah, is that your least favorite thing then, or your nitpick is like games put too much shit out?
Yeah, like when there's too much of a thing that is good, like when you're overdoing it, when you're oversaturating the market with that one good thing, you're essentially devaluing it by like churning out so much bullshit. So yeah, just tone it down. Like when you've got a good thing, then like with what From Software do. They do Dark Souls, they did Bloodborne, and then they did Sekiro, but they're very evenly fucking spaced out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my nitpick.
Raditz?
Oh gosh. Going back, like I was just thinking about this when you were discussing Assassin's Creed. I'm still to this day salty about how they treated Desmond.
No.
I don't like Desmond.
No, he did not. He should have been nuked off the face of the planet as soon as he appeared. Soulless demon of
But
hell.
like, why you no? But why you gotta fucking like blue balls me like that? Like they just
It's
like
great.
ended it.
They got
all
rid of the
and
motherfucker.
then didn't explain fucking anything to do with the apple.
I mean, they never were going to explain that shit. But
Like, I mean, yeah, but then why was it so central to the story if they were never gonna fucking explain it in the first place? Like, if you couldn't finish it, if you didn't know how you were gonna end the storyline, don't start it. I'm sorry, don't fucking start. Anyway,
no,
that's
but
me.
I think we, like, collectively, you and I have come to the same decision, which is Desmond should not have been there in the first fucking place. I can't. His dead little eyes just make me so angry. Like, fuck him.
Desmond was pretty soulless, and actually the supporting characters were the things that carried him. I agree there. But it's the frustration at like just bluntly ending the story with no resolution and no actual ending.
He endured the same fate that, like, what was it, Subjects fucking God knows what endured. You know, the guy that got trapped in the Animus? So
yeah.
they just advanced the Animus technology so far at that point that they didn't really need any of this stuff with
DNA
Desmond.
shit.
Yeah, so I think that's part and reason why. Because by the time we get to the later Assassin's Creeds, it's like, hey, random motherfucker.
Hey, I've got my portable Animus. I'm just gonna hop inside it.
Let me just pull it out of my fucking ass and you can jump in it like a pod. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Okay, anyway.
It's amazing. I love it because it means we can have stupid concepts like I'm in a tomb in Egypt with a fucking mummy, which makes almost no sense, but also is brilliant because it means we get Egypt and we get Greece and all this.
Yeah. No, they've come a long way. They're good.
Oh, what's my biggest nitpick? Oh shit. I don't know. My all-time favorite games. I mean, I suppose we could do gaming franchise and just say Angel of Darkness. Because you've covered Desmond, so fuck it.
I was literally just thinking of Tomb Raider as I was waiting for you to speak.
What worries me is, because Kath and I are playing through them on his channel, right? I'm in 2. We're doing 2 at the moment. I'm doing fucking great, by the way. Like, considering it's underwater at the moment, and I fucking hate underwater shit with sharks and stuff. I don't like it. Part of that is down to Tomb Raider.
What? You don't like underwater segments, Hannah?
Fucking freaks me out.
I fucking know.
Did you not see me? I know,
know.
like the fucking eels in the latest Tomb Raider. I just got so angry with them. Yeah. And there's eels in 2, and I didn't realise, and Kath didn't tell me, and I swam into some eels, and I was just going, Kath, why are there fucking eels, Kath? And he's like, just swim, it's fine. I'm
Angel
like,
of Darkness
eels!
Is the one that flopped really hard, and it's just a revamp of the other ones, right?
Right, so Angel of Darkness, I'm not going to go into it in like huge detail, but the gist is it bankrupted and killed an entire studio.
Yep.
It was effectively it was crowdfunded but not. So the sponsors didn't have enough money, so that's why half the like open world maps are soulless and empty like Paris.
Oh my god.
She was supposed to have a leveling system, which is why she's so shit at the start. It's so fucking buggy. Yeah. And it just basically, it's the anomaly in the series that not only killed the franchise almost entirely until it was saved.
Even the developers said that they said that it's literally a piece of shit. Like, I think one of the main developers,
there's a quote of them saying it's a piece of shit. Yeah. Like, we hated this thing.
Yeah.
We basically just had to put it out for money.
Like France.
And it's so bad, and it's coming up, and I have to play it because I'm playing the even numbered ones.
Oh god.
So,
no.
Angel of Darkness, you motherfucking piece of crap.
Hannah's coming for you, bitch.
I tried to load it up on my computer just to see if it was as bad as I remembered. Won't even fucking launch.
Oh my god.
Gets to the menu and it crashes. So I'm like, maybe we don't have to play it. Yeah. And then Kath was like, it's all right. I've got a PlayStation. If all else fails, I'll guess. No. I'm like, no, I don't want it.
There's one guy in the Paris segment where he's literally like a really small, frail, old like guy, and he's just like,
leave me alone, I'm busy.
Leave me alone, I'm busy. It's like,
and he won't talk to you unless you go and speak to someone else at a specific time. And then he's like, yeah, I got all the answers to all the shit in this place. Yeah. And you're like, what?
Leave me alone, I'm busy. It's like,
it's such a fucking stupid act. It literally is that.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, I'm busy. It's like,
oh, we should put
what
it in
accent have you got?
We should put it in the podcast just so people can hear it. It's so fucking hilarious.
I will try and find it. I know Cinemassacre. I assume we've both seen the Cinemassacre video on it.
Yes,
which is why we both knew about Leave Me Alone, I'm busy. Go and watch the Cinemassacre video on it.
Angry Beanie name.
He talks about Tomb Raider 5. So, Revelations, whatever the fuck that one's called.
Yeah.
And 6, which is Angel of Darkness, and talks about why they're the worst. I dispute the 5 one, to be honest, because I enjoyed it. I do see his point, but 6 is the fucking worst. And he lists all the reasons why, including some of the best bugs. Like her eternally screaming when you die.
It's like a loop of death, isn't it?
It loops, and it persists through saves, ratters.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I need the link to this like YouTube video because
I'll find it. You'll love it.
I need to watch this later.
Right, so I think that's not all the questions, but I think that's a good range of questions. So we're going to leave it here for now. However, please do continue to throw them that way to the hashtag AskShady. All of the links that I have, including the RSS feed, are in the YouTube video for each podcast. So if you're listening to this and go, I want to add it to X app,
Yeah.
go and have a look there and see what you can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything, isn't it, ladies, for now? Thank you for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I guess we'll see you next time.
We'll see you at the next podcast in an undetermined time frame.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.